Hello, Mahaka Daisies. This is Mrs. Hunter, and today we're going to be talking about mixed numbers and improper fractions. And what I want you to note on this screen is that at the bottom here, I have some resources that you can refer to optionally to help you with this assignment and with these activities as we continue on with fractions. We've talked about the visnos.com site. That is your online virtual fraction strips. And the other two sites that I want you to see is actually one and the same, which is mathisfun.com. And it shows the definitions for mixed numbers as well as improper fractions. And then it also is going to show you some examples of mixed numbers and how they relate to improper fractions. So definitely check them out as you need to. They're really good resources. And let's begin. So what we're going to be doing today is building fractions greater than 1. So we're going to represent fractions greater than 1 and mixed numbers numerically by building and breaking apart unit fractions and with drawings. So make sure you have your math notebook, have a pencil with you, and let's get started. We have these unit fractions. A unit fraction, if you recall, are any fractions that have 1 as the numerator. And so here we have a series or a chain of 1/4, a chain of unit fractions. And we know that the denominator stays the same because these are all fourths. And so we just simply add up the numerators. And so I'm going to do that, and I'm sure you've already done it as well. We get the sum of 5/4. Well, now we know this is an improper fraction. The reason why this is an improper fraction is because the numerator 5 is larger than the denominator, and that is truly the definition of an improper fraction. It's a fraction where the numerator is larger than the denominator. But improper fractions have a really cool twin. They are fraternal twins. They are absolutely related, but they look differently. And the way that we find this fraternal twin called a mixed number is we group these unit fractions together to find the whole, to find 1. And so if we look at these 4 fractions, that becomes 4/4, and then we have 1/4. But the other way to name this whole fraction is to call it simply 1. And if we add 1 plus 1/4, then the mixed number is now 1 and 1/4. And so this is related. 5/4 is equal to 1 and 1/4. And I just proved it to you by actually adding up these unit fractions and then finding the whole. So now, how can we do this using pictures? Well, pictures may or may not be easier for you. In this series of pictures, we have fractions in circles or as circles. And these fractions are divided into 2 pieces. So we know that the denominator for this, or the whole, is out of 2. Because this fraction here, because this circle is shaded fully, it is 2 out of 2 that is colored, and so that is the name of this fraction. Likewise, the one next to it is also 2 out of 2, and the next one, 2 out of 2, but this last one is only 1 out of 2, or it is considered 1/2. So what is this mixed number and what is the improper fraction? Well, let's do what we did before. We added all of these fractions. We have 1 unit fraction in this particular case, and then we have 3 whole fractions. So let's do this. We know that 2 out of 2 is equal to 1. We know that 2 out of 2 is equal to 1, and we add it again. And so now we have the mixed number of 3 and 1/2, or better yet, just 3 and 1/2. And so this is the mixed number here. And hopefully you understood how we did that. But we still haven't figured out the improper fraction. So let's go back to how we broke these out in halves. And we're going to count again the numerators. We have 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1. What is that, ladies? You should have gotten 7/2. So now we have 7/2 and 3/2, 3 1/2, excuse me, and we have the mixed number here and the improper fraction here. 7/2 is also the same thing as 3 1/2. Again, we have an example with thirds. What is the sum of this thirds? Let's use a different color this time. If I add all of these together, I have 1/3, 1/3. That's the second one. 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3. And hopefully you see that is 5/3. Again, what we're going to do is find the whole. When I find the whole, that means I'm grouping them up so that I can find 1. And this is 1. So I'm going to put 3/3, which is equal to 1. What do I have left over? Well, I have 2/3 left over. So in effect, I have 1 2/3, which is equal to the improper fraction of 5/3, which is equal to, again, 1 2/3 as the mixed number. If I want to draw or demonstrate a picture for this, I would probably use this. I would have 1/3, which is equal to 1/3, which is equal to 1/3, which is equal to another 1/3, and then we have another. This is not the prettiest picture right here, but I'm going to put it up here anyway. And so now we have, again, 5/3. If I were to again put these three together, then this again would equal 1 and then 2/3. So you can do it in a couple of ways. You can draw a picture, you can show me as unit fractions, and you can definitely show me the wholes with the regular proper fractions. Now I want you to take a moment, pause the video, and when you pause, you're going to go out and you're going to get a deck of playing cards. I don't care if it's Old Maid or regular playing cards or Go Fish or Uno cards. You just need a deck of cards, and I'm going to show you how to play the activity that we're going to do. Hi girls. Okay, so now I want to teach you the activity that we're going to go through. And by this time, hopefully you have gotten a deck of cards. And as you see on my table, I don't care what kind of deck of cards you have. You can have set, you can have Uno, stacks, you can have Old Maid for all I care. It doesn't matter because we're really not going to be looking at the face of the cards, but we are going to be looking at the back of the cards. So here's what you need. Some cards, and then get some paper and a pencil, or you can get some markers. The other thing that you need to make sure you have is 3 different fractions that are improper fractions that you're going to learn how to convert and demonstrate why they're also having a mixed number. We want to find the equivalent. So let's take a couple of examples now. I'm going to start with 8/5. We see that 8/5 is an improper fraction, and I want you to notice that the denominator is 5. That's very important because when we are dealing out the cards, we're going to place them in groups of 5 until we get to 8. So this is what I mean. So now we have 8/5. So I'm going to count out 5 for the first row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So these are all representing the unit fraction of fifths because the first row is in groups of 5. And then we have whatever is left over, which is 3. So I'm going to demonstrate this on my whiteboard so that you can actually see it a little bit. And this is what we have. This is what it's saying. It is saying that 8/5 is equal to this first row, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then the second row is 1, 2, 3. So we have the first row of 8/5 is 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5. And when we add all of these up, it is equal to 1. So we have the first number. Then we have the remaining, which is equal to 3/5. When we put these together, we will have 1 and 3/5. So 8/5 is equal to 1 and 3/5. And this is our first example. Now, let's try this again. And this time, I'm going to do 10/4. So just like before, we're going to now use this denominator, and we're going to deal out the cards in groups of 4 until we get to 10. So I'm going to put these all together. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now I have all of these in groups of 4, and then I have the leftover or the remaining parts of the fraction. Because this is in a group of 4, that means each one of these cards represent 1/4. So now I'm going to write down 10/4, and I'm going to demonstrate each row of the cards. So the first row we have is 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4. Then we have the second row, which is 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4. And then the third row says 1/4 plus 1/4. So going back and forth, we're going to put these together and make sure it looks right. This first row of 1/4, because I have 4/4, that equals 1. Then the second row is 1/4, and that is also 4/4, which equals 1. And then the last row, I have 2/4. Now 2/4 is not a whole, but we do have these 2 ones. So now we have 2 and 2/4. This is the equivalent mixed number to this improper fraction, 10/4. 10/4 is also equal to 2 and 2/4. So now, girls, it's your turn. I need you to actually go back and start working on this now. Okay, ladies, so now that you know how to play the game and do the activity, what I want you to do after you watch this video is get your playing cards, select a fraction to build. I'm going to need 3 of those, actually. So let me say, 3 fractions to build. Use the playing cards to build a fraction grouped together according to the denominator. Write the sum of the unit fraction, find the wholes or 1, and write the equivalent mixed number. Again, give me 3 of those fractions. Girls, always let me know what questions you have. I'm here to help. Use this resource. Math is fun. If you have any questions as well. And I will see you on Seesaw. Please, again, let me know how things are going. I miss you guys and hope all is well. Talk to you soon. Bye.